The ant, it is mentioned 3 times in Quran. The ape, it is mentioned 3 times, in 3 verses. The bee, it is mentioned 1 time in Quran. The calf is mentioned 10 times, in 10 different verses of Quran. The camel is mentioned 15 times, in 15 verses. The cow is mentioned 9 times, in 9 verses. The crow is mentioned 2 times, in a single verse. The dog is mentioned 5 times, in 3 verses of Quran. The elephant is mentioned 1 time, in a single verse. The donkey is mentioned 5 times, in following 5 verses. The ewe is mentioned 4 times, in Quran in 2 verses. Ewe is a female sheep over 1 year of age. The sheep is mentioned 3 times, in Quran in 3 verses. The goat is mentioned 1 time, in a single verse. The whale is mentioned 5 times, in 5 verses. The frog is mentioned 1 time, in a single verse. The fly is mentioned 1 time, in Quran in a single verse. The hoopoe is mentioned 1 time, in Quran in 1 verse. The lice is mentioned 1 time, in Quran in chapter 7, verse 133. The horse is mentioned 6 times, in following 6 verses. The locust is mentioned 2 times, in 2 verses in Quran. The lion is mentioned 1 time, in a single verse. The animal mule is mentioned 1 time, in following verse, along with horses and donkeys. The insect moth is mentioned 1 time, in 1 verse. The pig or swine is mentioned 5 times, in 5 different verses. The snake or serpent is mentioned 5 times, in 5 verses of Quran. The mosquito is mentioned 1 time, in 1 of verses of chapter 2. The quail is mentioned 3 times, in 3 verses of Quran. The animal wolf is mentioned 3 times, in 3 verses of Quran. The spider is mentioned 1 time, in verse 41 of chapter 29 in Quran. The birds and cattle are mentioned in Quran multiple times. The cattle are mentioned 33 times in 31 verses, while the birds are mentioned 18 times in 16 different verses. If you find this video informative, please like and share, subscribe to our channel to show us support, share your thoughts and comments. See you in next video.